Hi, everyone. We are the eMentoring team. And today we are going to be talking to you about online mentorship program for youth from underserved and rural communities and how we can use machine learning to help program leaders better support these youth. As an agenda, we first introduce ourselves and our partner. We will then present the project itself, its goal, and our work throughout the summer. And we will end with our recommendation for any future exploration. My name is McCaffrey.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jonah. So first, we're just going to introduce our partners. So we have been working with Rural eMentoring BC. Their motivations stem from the disparity in healthcare between rural and Indigenous communities compared to urban centers. These regions have a higher demand for healthcare, but have a lower number of general practitioners and specialists per person, which further increases the difficulty to access healthcare compared to more dense centers. This has been shown that students from these communities are more likely to return to find careers in their home communities, which has prompted UBC to develop programs to help promote participation in health sciences programs and hope to improve healthcare access to these communities. However, many of these programs still go unclaimed. This has led to the development of Rural eMentoring BC in order to support and inspire new rural and Indigenous healthcare practitioners in British Columbia. Through their programs, high school students receive one-on-one mentorship from university students in professional programs such as health sciences and law. And these mentors are trained to support mentees through their career exploration and their transition from high school to post-secondary and from rural to urban environments. Mentorship relationships are further augmented with REMBC's curriculum designed to stimulate relationship development and conversation related to 13 units, including developing good study habits, adulting, and finding inspiration. Mentor-mentee pairs write to each other through Mentor City's eMentoring platform, allowing continuous and retrospective analysis of their conversations to evaluate relationship development that is not possible with traditional in-person mentorship relationships. And just a bit about our project goals. So the main goal of our project is to find out what successful mentor-mentee pairs are doing to sustain their relationship and to use these to help leverage future relationships. More specifically, we are looking into questions like what factors correlate with success? What curriculum units do mentees find the most engaging? And are there any off-topic subjects that they are also engaging with? And how does engagement change over time among mentees? So unlike traditional face-to-face mentorship programs, Mentor City's online platform allows REMBC to access conversations between mentors and mentees. From these conversations, we first split these up into individual responses called turns, which allows us to compare the content of the responses not only between relationships, but also within a relationship over time. So with this in mind, we mainly focused on unsupervised machine learning models due to the fact that we didn't have sort of those labels. And due to the conversations, we focused a lot on natural language processing. So one of the biggest aspects of that is word embeddings. And I'm going to start by doing a little intro on that. And essentially what they are is they are a numerical representation of words as multidimensional vectors, which allows for a measure of similarity between words using both distances and angles. Since we have a vectorized form of our words, we can use vector addition and subtraction to create new vectors from our word embeddings. In this example, we take the vector for kitten, subtract the vector for cat, and add the vector for dog to get a new vector, which you might expect to be puppy. And oftentimes that's essentially how it works. Our first model we worked on is topic modeling, which is essentially the process of extracting common themes from text by picking groups of similar words that often appear together within our texts. We chose to work with BERT topic since it requires less pre-processing and is quite modular, allowing for more exploration of the models for each step of the algorithm. One notable difference between BERT topic and other topic models is that it uses bidirectional encoder representations from transformers or BERT embeddings, which encodes the words both based on its meaning in isolation and the context within the text as well. So in this case, the example at the bottom, the I am feeling blue versus the water is blue, Bird embeddings would actually recognize these as being two separate words because they have different words around them. So unlike the original examples of our embeddings. From our bird topic, we were able to extract over 60 topics from Menti responses. However, more topics does not necessarily mean more topics generally means more similar topics as well. This is sort of a cluster map showing the different topics. The bigger circles just represent more diverse representations of topics, whereas the tighter circles means that the words representing them are much more similar. And then overlap suggests that there is some similarities between the topics. So as you see, even though we have 60 topics, many of them can be kind of clustered a lot closer together. These are the top 10 topics we found. On the right is sort of the words representing those topics. On the left is a just sort of like a personal sort of summary of what that topic is. So this is the stuff on the left is not produced by our model. As we expect, many of the topics come from Rural eMentoring BC's curriculum itself. So these 6 topics shown in black font are career and university exploration, rural to urban living, wellness and self-care, developing good study habits, finding inspiration, and career exploration. And these are specific units within REM-BC's curriculum. Another group of topics are these colored in brown, and these are topics that aren't directly from the curriculum, but are kind of expected from the nature of the mentorship. So the first one is just about mentoring itself and conversations, and the topic number 9 is more about the eMentoring platform. As you expect, the students would have some comments about that as well. And then our last sort of group of topics are these in green, and these are from outside of the curriculum and are related to mentees' free time and hobbies. These topics suggest mentees are opening up to their mentors and is giving more personal responses, so indicating a sign of growth within the relationship as they are kind of opening up to their mentors, which is what we kind of hope from mentorship relationships.
We have also explored emotion detection in the mentees' responses. This is about understanding the mentees' attitude towards the program. So are they happy? To do this, we use zero-shot classification, a way for us to make prediction without having to train the model on our data set. Essentially, we fed the model, which is but in this case, a set of emotions that we are interested in, and it provides us with probabilities that each one of those emotions is represented in the sequence of sentences that we are analyzing. This is an example of the result we get. You have a response, the emotions detected, and their scores. And given this information, we were able to investigate the mentees' engagement over time. Are they more excited as they engage through the curriculum, or is there a drastic change in attitude? For example, this is a representation of the overall emotion among a certain number of selected mentees over time. As you can see, for the years 2021 to 2022, the excitement, which is the green line here, and content, the orange line, are approximately constant. But boredom, which is very low, can indicate that mentees are fairly stimulated. But we also have nervousness, which is the blue line, is still quite high among mentees. This information may prompt REM-BC to investigate the cause of this nervousness among mentees. We can also go into details about specific mentees. For instance, this is a comparison between 2 mentees over the duration of their respective relationship. I only want you to focus on the green and orange lines here. In the first graph, which is on the left, the excitement, the green line, decreased slightly and content increased a little. But when you look at the second graph, even though content, the orange line, increased a lot over time, excitement, green line, decreased significantly too. So we think this could prompt a conversation regarding that particular mentee and how REM-BC could better support that individual. We think mood detection may provide key insight into how overall those mentor-mentee relationships develop over time and how REM-BC could support them. We also work on simplifying the mentor-mentee matching process. Currently, the matching is manually done by the RMBC team and is based on mentor and mentee's background and interests, which are part of their profile information. We use K-nearest neighbor or KNN algorithm for our vector search. Without going into too much details, just remember that according to KNN, the closer two vectors are in space, the more likely they are to be similar. So following that logic, given a mentee, we can find the more similar mentor in our vector database. This table summarizes the result. And as you can see, we have a person, the role of that person, either is a mentor or a mentee, and the nearest neighbors. Think of our vector database as this 2D plane on the right, where the blue points are the mentees and the red points are the mentors. So for a given mentee here, let's say mentee 1, the closest mentor or the most similar mentor will be mentor 5. And we think this information we think this system of mentor matching will not only improve efficiency, but also give us some insight into what kind of feature or criteria should the RMBC focus on while matching.
And for our next model, we've made an abstractive summarization model, and this can generate concise summaries that capture the key ideas in the text data set. This rephrases and condenses the original text data. And this function allows researchers to copy and paste paragraphs of text into our website, and then it'll output a summarized version of that text. And so to do this, we're working with the transformer model Pegasus, which uses gap sentences generation, and it masks a fraction of words, and then it has to predict its own masked words. And this is what it does to train itself. And this results in a self-supervised reinforcement learning. Finally, we've deployed a user-friendly site with the models that we've mentioned. And this tool can be used by researchers in non-tech domains to experiment with natural language processing for text analysis. I'm going to run through a demo of our app using some of these models we've talked about. So here we're using the emotion detection tool, and I'm first uploading a data set, and then I'm selecting the response column, which contains all our text data. And then I'm going to select 3 different moods. Here it's happiness, sadness, and boredom. And then I'll select to view all mentees' moods collectively, which just combines all the text data for that given year. And then it'll have a graph showing there's a table showing the magnitude of their emotions. And then below is a graph showing the change of emotions over the years. And in this example, users can filter through their data set by selecting specific columns. So here I only want to see the responses in career exploration, which is just a subcategory in our data set. And there's also an option to filter out more responses. Here, I just want to see words, all responses, or I can see words more than 20 or 50. And then next, I want to see a bar graph that plots the number of mentees against the number of mentors. And I can do this by just selecting the graph type as well as the relationship or mentor column. Additional functions include a emoji time series analysis and other visualization tools. And finally, for our topic modeling tool, we've already uploaded a file here, and then we're going to select the response column for our modeling. And now we have the top 5 topics in a table, and below is our topic clusters in a map. The first topic is about exams and studying, and over here it talks about rural living and land. And below, I can enter in a word to find similar words as well as its topic number. Here, I'm just using the word studying. And now I could see some words that are similar to studying and where those topics are located.
Now that we have examined our result, we want to outline potential directions for future research that could help further improve these results and their usefulness. One is labeling relationship. We believe different eras of research could evolve from having a spectrum to classify a relationship. For example, instead of successful and unsuccessful, we could have great engagement, good engagement, average engagement, etc. This could open door to other machine learning tools, especially supervised learning. Two, exploring tone detection among mentors. Specifically, how does a mentor's tone may affect a mentee's engagement, or what tones or writing style are associated with more successful relationship? We think this information could go a long way in improving the training of mentors. Yeah. In conclusion, our hope for this project and its insight is to serve as a stepping stone, not only for RMDC, but also other eMentoring programs to better support students from underprivileged and rural communities. And maybe 2 or 3 more years from now, we can see more students from indigenous and rural areas venture more into post-secondary careers.